If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.
Welcome. It is Nazzy from the Pulse of New Hampshire. This is the Concord Co-op Community Connections. Greg Lessard, not joining us today physically, but he is definitely here in spirit. So let's all give a big shout out to Greg Lessard. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
So joining us right now, we've got Heather from Middle Branch Farm in New Boston. Welcome, Heather Noonan.
Thank you.
We've got Andy from the Concord Food Co-op Organic Gardens.
Hi.
Hey there, Andy. And we've got Jameson from Fresh Start Farm. And this is a great discussion today. Welcome, Jameson.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So this is a great discussion today because I just read the other day, because obviously we have Easter coming up this weekend, and I just read that it takes so many different actions to burn off some of the Easter candy we're going to be eating this weekend. So, for example, if you wanted to have a Cadbury cream egg, that's 170 calories. It's going to take 15 minutes of biking or 20 minutes of jogging. If you want to eat a chocolate marshmallow bunny, that's 384 calories. That's 1 hour of walking. Or if you'd like to enjoy a hollow chocolate Easter egg, which is 700 calories, that is going to take 3 hours of gardening. So there we go right there. So I want to jump right in and I want to talk about why it burns so many calories gardening. We'll start with Heather. So how does that work? What are we doing that we're burning off those calories in 3 hours, Heather?
Well, I think first of all, we're pretty much in the sun all day or in a hot greenhouse. So you're burning a lot of calories there.
Right.
But you're doing a lot of walking over probably 10,000 steps a day, bending over a lot, lifting heavy things. You're mobile all day long.
You're working out. Jameson, same question.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the seasonality too. You know, all winter it's all cream and sleep, and then when summer hits, it's it's a lot of produce and many long hours. So, we'll be definitely burning off those eggs.
Now, Andy, how many calories do you think you burn in an average day when you're out there gardening and getting things ready?
Based on how much I eat and that I just don't put on any weight, it's probably like 3,000 calories. Yeah. But I eat the same amount in the winter, and then it doesn't work the same way. The math gets a little different. Yeah.
Right. The math doesn't equal out the right way. I know for me in the winter, I feel like I'm hibernating. Do you know what I mean? And that's when I eat a lot more. Whereas in the warmer months, which we're coming into, that's when I eat less and I feel that I'm more active. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Makes total sense. All right. So let's start with Heather Noonan. What is going on at Middle Branch Farm?
Well, we have our propagation house started. We've got we have thousands of seedlings started. Our high tunnel has Swiss chard, kale. We'll be putting tomatoes in pretty shortly. So getting a jump on things. And a lot of cleanup, winter cleanup. You know, these winter storms got a lot of stuff blown around, but we're off to a good start. Hoping for some more rain and
Now you just said that you're hoping for more rain. I just read that we're in a deficit. And I'll ask you guys all the same question, Andy and Jameson as well. How is that affecting your day-to-day routine at the farm? We'll start with you, Heather.
Not so much right now, but as the season progresses, you definitely notice the soil moisture is very low. We have a pond on the farm where we pull water from, and last year by July, our pond was very, very low. So it can be a little troublesome when you don't have water to water your produce with, your plants with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just hoping for some more rain and maybe some consistent rain over the summer.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Now, Jameson, I see you're nodding your head. Are you guys having the same issue at Fresh Start Farm?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hit the state really hard last year. And, some of the big changes we're trying to do this year is we did get our first. Last year, we bought a tractor, which was a big move for us. And then we just got a mulch layer. So in the past, we've always laid down drip. But now we're really starting to move towards a lot more plastic mulch just to kind of retain some of that moisture. And yeah, just be really careful with the water. We're fortunate that we have a well, but it, come August, it works really hard. So, yeah, I'm with Heather. Like, just a little bit of rain every week will, make everyone's life so much easier.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Andy, at the Concord Food Co-op?
I have a same situation as Heather. We irrigate from a pond, and they did actually do some. I'm here at Shaker Village. They did a dam reconstruction project a year or two ago now, and that's actually helped a lot with the water supply. So I didn't have any, but it is always nice to get reliable rain throughout the season. Irrigation just takes time and effort, and you're constantly setting timers to turn things on and off, and you forget to leave it on, and then one bed is flooded. Yeah, it can just be. It's a lot more hassle when you have to worry more about lack of rainfall.
Do the grounds change, during the winter? Because obviously we've got the frost heaves that kind of push things up, and then we've got certain storms that come up. Do some of these irrigation channels change during the colder months?
Ideally, it depends on the irrigation system that you're using, but most people, if they have underground line, they're digging it below the frost line. Otherwise, you would have serious issues for sure.
Yeah. And I see, Heather, you're nodding your head. So yeah, same. Yeah.
Yep, same. We have a couple underground irrigation lines, and then we are plugging in our drip tape all over the farm. But like Andy said, they are below the frost line, so we hope that we have no issues with that when we turn everything on.
Yeah. So you haven't turned anything on yet, is what you're saying? We don't know yet.
Correct. We are watering out of large buckets that we use a pump with. We haven't set out any hoses. Just as you can see, this last couple days have been super cold, so we're trying to avoid hoses freezing up. And yeah, it's just slowly getting into it.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're in spring. And Jameson, same question. Are you guys having any difficulties, or you don't know yet either?
We just turned the water on 2 days ago in the Dumbarton farm. So yeah, the greenhouses, there's 9 greenhouses over there that people are really active in right now. Our spot in Concord, we haven't turned the water on, and probably won't until a few more weeks. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of our waterfront right now.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people are at. Now, let me start with Andy. Obviously, you are the organic gardener for the Concord Food Co-op. What of your products can we find at the co-op in Concord?
Currently nothing, but soon, in a couple weeks, I'll have some arugula. That's one thing that I put in the greenhouse this year, and it's coming along. It's about 2 or 3 weeks old now, so yeah, start seeing that soon. And then actually have some asparagus, and rhubarb will be some of the first things actually coming out of the garden.
That's really cool. Jameson, what about you?
Yeah, same boat. We don't have anything at the co-op right now. Hopefully by June we start getting into some peas. And in the past we've sold a lot of kale and chard and stuff to the co-op, and baby onions. So we hope to do the same. And then we do grow a lot of amaranth greens and bitter melon and some really kind of funky stuff that we've been able to bring in and try out the co-op that's done well. So we're optimistic that happens again this year.
Absolutely. And Heather?
Same. We start off with kale, Swiss chard, maybe some lettuce, but we focus more on squash, zucchini, melons, winter squash for the co-op as the season progresses.
Now, Andy, I know you and I have had this discussion before last time we spoke about how do you choose what you're going to plant? And obviously you have to think ahead. It's something you have to think months and months ahead. How do you select what you're going to grow? We'll start with you, Jameson. How do you guys select what you're going to grow and produce?
Yeah, so we work with 23 different farmers. They're all new Americans that were farming back in their home countries, and then they immigrated here, and they're kind of adjusting their skills to these markets. So we really help advise based on last year's sales. We do a lot of record keeping, and then based on what's really, really popular and what kind of, to be completely transparent, what is the most bang for your buck as a grower. Those are the things that we kind of urge the farmers to do. But at the end of the day, it's really up to them exactly what they want to plant. There's some farmers that are growing mostly for home consumption, and they're growing a lot of native crops that are, they don't have access to in New Hampshire, and filling
Right.
freezers and filling family and friends' bellies. And then there's
Mm.
some farmers that have been here for a little bit longer who are kind of going all in with American type vegetables. So,
Right.
we act more as an advisor than anything.
But it sounds like you do have the freedom to grow what you want, and based on what your customers want as well, correct?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the customers pay the bills. So,
Yeah.
we want to make sure that they're well fed and get exactly what they want. But also, yeah, we still like to experiment with stuff, and that's for many people that are in agriculture, that's kind of why they're in it, is that you get to have some fun and try new things out and try to optimize stuff. But yeah, the freedom is definitely one of the top priorities for many farmers.
That's what it's all about. And Heather, same question for you. How do you select what you grow for your consumers?
Yeah, I can agree with Jameson. It's really, what does the market want? What are the restaurants looking for as far as like funky things?
Yeah.
Like shishito peppers have been super popular in the last couple of years. But we're part of a local harvest CSA at Concord, and also we run our own. So we have a very wide variety of vegetables we grow throughout the season. There's not a vegetable that we haven't tried to grow
Right.
yet. Whether it goes well or not, you find out, but huge variety.
Trial and error. But yeah, but it sounds like the same thing, that you also have the freedom to grow what you want.
And that's what it's all about.
Yep, very true. And finally, Andy, how do you select what you grow? Like I said, we've had this discussion before, so this is kind of a rehash. So how do you decide?
Sure. My primary markets are to the food co-op. And so I have conversations with both the chef and then the produce manager. And I also, in the winter time, have the unique perspective of also working in the produce department. So it gives me a good idea of what sells and what doesn't, and what we are sourcing locally and what we aren't. So the combination of things helps me put together the crop plan. Yeah.
That's it. And we have a Greg Lessard. Greg, are you with us?
I'm finally here. Yeah, thank you.
What do they say? Better late than never,
Yeah, I missed some of the beginning, but the importance of local and buying your produce local, if you could touch on that.
Yeah. Let's start with Andy.
I think it's huge. And sometimes even I would prioritize, and this might be a little controversial, but buying local food over buying organic. But doing both at the same time is the best way. But buying local, generally in the Northeast anyway, means that you're buying from a small, diverse farmer, which is super important. You're avoiding like these mega industrial conglomerate farms that you wouldn't even recognize. Like when you think of a farm in your mind, that's not what you would picture. Just the same crop as far as you can see. So I think that's the big reason. And just putting money into your local economy is also really great. Getting to know the people that grow the food in your neighborhood.
Absolutely. Jameson, same question for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last number that I heard, it was about 5% of New Hampshire residents actually buy local foods, and that's worth over $150 million a year. So if we were to expand that, in those 150 million staying in this local economy, so if we can get 10%, 20%, 30% of people to shop locally, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars that could be staying here, employing people and circulating the economy. So rather than exporting all this food or money out from these imported foods, we can, keep it here, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Keep it local. And Heather, will ask you the same question.
Yeah, I totally agree. Keep it local. I would just urge people to, seek out your local co-ops and your local markets, and go meet your farmers and see the abundance that we are bringing to the table, and talk with us. And, our main goal is to get this fresh, beautiful produce to our customers, whether it is organic or not. I mean, there are so many great farms in this state doing amazing things. Pick your own, go check the farm wagon, just get out there with your family and enjoy what we have to offer.
So, Greg, I've got to tell you,
Go ahead.
these guys here, these three farmers here. I mean, yes, they're something they have in common is they're all farmers, but you can tell just from their answers that they're passionate about farming, passionate about growing local, and passionate about what they do. So I'm really interested to learn how each of you got into farming. Were you born into it? Was it something you went to agricultural school for? Was it something that you just one day woke up and decided? Let's start with Jameson. How did you get into farming?
Yeah, I was taking some environmental science courses in college and really started, learning about climate change and the impact that food has to do with that. And then started, picking corn at Tuttle's in Dover as a summer job, and then never went back to school, to be honest with you. I started working at Brookford and just kind of moving around, just trying to learn as much as I could with the intent of kind of going back. But I was learning so much using, with hands-on experience that
Right.
I just wanted to really stay focused on that and work on food system building. And so not born on a farm, but yeah, my mother would beg me to get out in the garden with her, and I always was like, I'll make enough money that I'll never have to, grow my own food. But I'd rather have no money and grow my own food.
So is it safe to say that your mother was right, Jameson? You should have listened to your mom.
As usual, yes.
Mom knows best. Heather, what about you? How did you get into this industry?
Well, I actually was sort of born into it. My father and my mother purchased our farm, I believe, in 2000, and I sort of had the same thing where when I was in middle school and high school, I really did not want to be in the garden. I didn't want to be picking rocks. I had better things to do, but I totally came full circle about 8 years ago and really started giving it my all. It just pulled me back, and it's, you want to do something with your life that is meaningful and impacts your community in a positive way. And it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, very rewarding. Very, very rewarding. And what about you, Andy?
Yeah, I found myself in a sort of aimless state after my first attempt at college and just decided to woof on a farm just on a whim. I had a friend from high school who did that, and I just gave it a shot, and it was exactly what I needed. It was perfect. And it gave me an opportunity to channel some of my interest in environmentalism and stewardship in a really productive way. Also, one of the things that I really love about farming is it gives you a chance. I tend to be a really analytical person, so at the end of the season, you have all this opportunity to look back on what went wrong, and then you get a fresh start the next year. And that's just the best feeling, and that spring buzz of like, I'm going to get it right this year, and then you don't, and then you get to try again next year. Yeah,
right. Well, there's always a new challenge. There's always a new challenge,
Always.
right? I like that.
Just a quickie question. I think farming for a period of time, the amount of individuals farming was shrinking. It was for a long time. Is that reversed itself at all? Are more younger people getting into farming? Do you see friends or associates? Do you see that growing at all?
Heather's nodding her head yes.
Yeah, I do. I personally just see even my personal impact, and in my close friends group of people wanting to start their own gardens or grow flowers, grow their own food. They want to come to the farm and check it out. And I really do think that the younger generation is interested and wants so deeply to take care of the earth and have a positive impact. And I think we're on a good track.
I would agree with that. Greg, in the last minute we have left here in the segment, please tell us a little bit about the co-op and what is going on at the co-op and how we can find produce very soon from all three of these wonderful farms. Not in stores yet, but very, very soon.
Well, some is already coming in. We're getting some greens already in, and Andy's probably delivering some stuff now. So it's already starting to come in. So come on down to the co-op, and everything that we do have at the Concord Food Co-op, you can find on our website, concordfoodcoop.coop. At our we have an e-shop, so you can simply even look at the all the different selection just online, and then come on down and shop in the store.
Excellent. Heather, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Jameson, thank you.
Great, thanks.
And Andy, thank you as well.
Great to be back. Thanks.
All right. Nazzy
Thank you
for
all.
the Pulse of New Hampshire. We'll see you next time.